The Red Sea, a vital maritime link, saw its long-held stability shattered in late 2023 as Houthi forces in Yemen began attacking ships. Initially targeting Israeli vessels, their aggression broadened, threatening international commerce and naval forces, including the US Navy. Their diverse arsenal, combining cheap drones, stealthy cruise missiles, and powerful anti-ship ballistic missiles, along with unpredictable suicide boats, posed a complex challenge. Operation Prosperity Guardian, launched by the US and allies, increased naval presence and defenses. Aegis destroyers proved crucial in intercepting threats, safeguarding ships and personnel. However, the cost imbalance of using million-dollar missiles against low-cost drones raised sustainability concerns. The constant threat also put immense pressure on crews. Despite these efforts, the Houthis showed no signs of stopping, adapting tactics, and potentially using new weapons, demanding continuous adaptation from the US. The stakes were high. Shipping safety, economic stability, and military personnel security all depended on an effective response. Amidst questions about US defense system capabilities against these asymmetric tactics, few knew the Red Sea had been a long-term US military testing ground. Programs like the stealthy, AI-equipped X-47B drone, capable of autonomous carrier operations, had been tested here, anticipating future threats. An upgraded F/A-18 Hornet with advanced radar, AI-supported targeting, and enhanced performance in harsh conditions was also tested in the Red Sea, preparing for realistic combat scenarios against agile threats. These past experiments offered valuable insights for the current crisis. The need for persistent ISR, highlighted by the X-47B, was crucial for monitoring dispersed Houthi forces. While MQ-9 Reapers were used, their vulnerability underscored the value of stealth and autonomy. X-47B technology also contributed to programs like the MQ-25 Stingray for extending carrier fleet range. Upgraded F/A-18S, now flying over the Red Sea, utilized advanced radar and sensors to distinguish small, fast-moving targets like Houthi drones and cruise missiles amidst clutter. AI aided pilots in analyzing data and making rapid engagement decisions. Integrated multi-layered defense networks, combining data from Aegis warships, E-2 Hawkeye aircraft, F/A-18s, and reconnaissance UAVs, became vital. AI helped synthesize this information, identify complex attack patterns like simultaneous missile and drone launches, and coordinate responses. The Red Sea confrontation became a real-world test for modern naval warfare concepts. Autonomy, AI, advanced sensors, and integrated networks were being tested against asymmetric tactics. The conflict also revealed challenges in cost-effectiveness and countering saturation attacks with inexpensive weapons. The skills and endurance of US personnel under immense pressure were also critical. This evolving threat demanded continuous technological superiority and adaptability to protect US interests, ensure navigation freedom, and maintain global stability. The Red Sea crisis highlighted the complexities of 21st century security, where technology alone was insufficient without effective strategy, integration, and adaptability. The Red Sea, the world's lifeblood for oil and commerce, faced a new crisis in early 2025. Houthi forces, backed by Iran, attacked the USS Harry S. Truman, a symbol of US naval power. Missiles and drones were launched from Yemen towards the carrier. The Houthis even claimed to have downed a US MQ-9 Reaper drone. President Trump vowed retribution and deployed the USS Carl Vinson to join the Truman. Iran issued threats against Diego Garcia and warned of closing the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point. Russia observed, the EU sent warships, and the world held its breath as tensions escalated between the asymmetrical Houthi threat and the overwhelming power of the US. On January 6, 2025, alarms blared on the USS Harry S. Truman as Houthi missiles and drones approached. A C-802 anti-ship cruise missile and Shahed-136 suicide drones were aimed at the carrier and its E-2 Hawkeye early warning aircraft. From the USS Gravely, an escort destroyer, the Aegis system tracked the threats. An F-18 Super Hornet was launched, intercepting and destroying 10 drones. An SM-2 missile obliterated the C-802. A harmless splash was mistaken for another attack. The captain of the Gravely declared their safety. Meanwhile, the Houthis claimed another MQ-9 Reaper downing, a claim the Pentagon downplayed but acknowledged as a slap in the face. The Houthi attack, though unsuccessful in hitting the Truman, was a reckless provocation. The night of January 6, 2025, saw the USS Harry S. Truman unscathed, soon joined by the USS Carl Vinson. Their escort fleet included the USS Gettysburg, USS Stout, USS Jason Dunham, and USS Sullivan. In the Indian Ocean, 6 B-2 Spirit bombers at Diego Garcia stood ready. Technology was key, with the Aegis system on the Gravely tracking targets and Tomahawk missiles ready. F-18. Super Hornets on the Truman were armed with JDAM bombs. President Trump, furious, warned of further crushing blows against the Houthis and their Iranian sponsors. In the past 2 weeks, relentless U.S. bombings had targeted Houthi depots and command centers. The U.S. demonstrated its shield and sword capabilities, responding to cheap drones with million-dollar missiles and bunker busters. The Houthis had provoked a powerful response. January 7, 2025, revealed Iran's deeper involvement, supplying the Houthis with weapons and technology. Iranian General Hajizadeh threatened to strike Diego Garcia and close the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. attacked. The Houthis remained defiant on Twitter. Russian warships observed, the EU sent naval support, and U.S. intelligence reported Iran accelerating its nuclear program. Iran threatened attacks and chanted anti-American slogans. The U.S. dismissed the threat of Houthi drones reaching Diego Garcia. Iran used the Houthis as proxies to create chaos. From Diego Garcia, B-2 bombers could reach Tehran, and the U.S. fleet in the Red Sea stood ready. Russia watched. The EU tightened its grip, and Iran lurked in the shadows. The Houthis had lit the fuse, but Iran held the matchbox. On January 8, 2025, at 2 a.m. Yemen time, the U.S. Navy launched its counterattack. Satellites and reconnaissance aircraft identified Houthi targets. At 2:05 a.m., the USS Gravely and USS Stout fired 12 Tomahawk missiles. F-18. Super Hornets from the Truman followed, dropping JDAM bombs. At 2:38 a.m., the Tomahawk struck, followed by the F-18s, obliterating Houthi bunkers and a major munitions depot. The pilot reported target obliterated. President Trump declared the Houthis crushed and warned Iran. The Pentagon confirmed numerous Houthi targets destroyed. An official stated their ability to attack was wiped out. The Houthis weakly responded on Twitter, vowing to continue. An American official dismissed their remaining capabilities. Iran silently watched. The day of retribution had brought devastation to the Houthis. The morning of January 8, 2025, saw the USS Harry S. Truman and USS Carl Vinson together, declaring U.S. victory. The Houthis suffered heavy losses. Trump boasted of secured maritime freedom. However, the Houthis' inexpensive weapons forcing costly U.S. responses highlighted a strategic challenge. Their reduced capabilities were evident in their weakened Twitter response. Iran, the real adversary, remained silent, but their nuclear ambitions and control over Hormuz posed a continued threat. Russia observed, the EU maintained its presence, and the Middle East remained tense. The next move by Iran could involve more advanced weapons or a closure of Hormuz. The U.S. response remained uncertain. The day of retribution ended in Yemen's destruction, but the Red Sea remained a volatile region, awaiting the next chapter in this unfolding conflict between the Houthis, Iran, and the United States. The future remained uncertain,